Liverpool's first goal from a set piece, from a corner, in the Premier League so far this season. So hopefully that is a trend that will continue. Yeah, that was it. And what I thought as well was good with the forward players. You know, there were times when he could have taken the shot on himself, but he'd feeding teammates. He was thinking about the team as well, which I think was good to see. And maybe a couple of others at times. Hugo maybe took on shots maybe he shouldn't have done. There's a learning process there, but signs of encouragement in terms of how they're linking up.
His first involvement, he goes forward inside right position. And you're going, oh, Mo's going to bend it here, and he just lays it off. I think it was McAllister, was it?
Yeah,
and really, he should have shot. And it's like we tried to walk it in there, but it was a perfectly weighted pass. And I think we're all shocked because we all thought, oh, he's going to come on, boom, and I'm going to hit it. And he's just laid that little ball in.
Just how he held off with left back. You know, there was a few occasions when he just upper body strength, absolutely incredible.
He's much happier when it's a back four that he's playing against. Back five, the fellas like that, he's a couple of yards off him, and he's getting him to stop every ball, and he doesn't get a chance to run at anybody. He did today.
I just wonder, we saw in the closing stage it was effectively kind of like a 4-4-2 kind of, and Mo was sort of through the middle. I just wonder, we have seen it before where he's played more centrally. I just wonder as the season goes on, that'll be another option, whether he'll play at the top end of the field where there's less defensive responsibility and he can really affect the game in the forward areas.
I personally think he's better in the wide area. Yes, he can play through the middle, but I think when he came on, and he was much further up on the right hand side than Joe wasn't he? And he gave us much more of an outlet, and you could see the fear in the full back because he's thinking, well, I had Joe Gomez there, I was all right when, but all of a sudden now most got in behind Brighton, so that's what he offers you. That's the difference in players that you've got. And Mo, you know, when he comes back from the AFCON, I'm sure he'll be ready and willing to get back into the team.
Yeah, Joe Gomez has many qualities, but he does not have 277 goal involvements for Liverpool. I know that off the top of my head. And speaking of Joe Gomez, the hope is now that he's not got a serious problem, because we've seen in the last week, 10 days, what a valuable asset he can be. We want to make things a little bit more secure at the back and have a different body to put into that back line.
I hope for Joe. You know, I feel for the boy. He's been here so long, but he keeps on picking up the injuries. And you hope, because obviously Connor got that suspension and it's thrown Joe in. He's come in for sort of a couple of games now playing, and you do worry about him. And you just seen him when he went down. I thought, oh no. And I don't know, I think it's a muscle injury. Hopefully it's just a muscle injury that he'll be back in a few weeks. But he's done so well, and he's always there, Joe. You know you can rely upon him to come in and do a job. As Ray said, listen, he gets upfield far too much, and there's no real goal threat from him. It was better when Mo went there. There's no doubting his value to this team and this squad, and I just feel for the boy all the time he gets an injury.
Not just him, but Dominic looked like he had some sort of an injury. He got up and played on, but there was a slight concern then. It was a few players going down. Ekitike went down. Hopefully it was just cramp, but you just start to think, it's just fortunate that there's not another midweek game, because the games have been piling up recently, whether that be for Liverpool, whether it be internationally. There's been no real break for the Liverpool players. They've actually been playing 2-3 games a week, haven't they? And I just think now is a good time for them to have a little break and just get that focus back again and rest up a little bit.
Yeah, Dominic Szoboszlai is a player we certainly don't want to be losing, given how much he's contributed in the first part of the season. I would hate to think how many kilometres he's clocked up already. He is Mr. Non-stop, Mr. Dynamo. You touch on the fact there's a break. That is the big thing. We spoke about it pre-match. 2 clear midweeks now. Yep. Something we haven't had a lot of so far this season, and it's come at a good time because we are a little bit, like we said pre-match. You look at the bench, no Gakpo, no Endo. Isak could come on for a little bit today but couldn't start today. We could do with that little break to get some people a little bit of rest and get a few bodies back.
And we're doing it. It's sort of, this big game, every game's a big game, but it's nice to be able to get, and we were talking about it, we weren't just saying like, oh, you give them to go away for 2 or 3 days. It's not a jolly, it's to get yourself rested up, because you've got it. It's only going to get harder in January. It's for these lads, and then they come back, and whether it's sort of Tuesday or Wednesday they come back in, you can train properly because you haven't got a game in the midweek. You can organise them, you can have, sort of do some set plays, do something is just for them to get together again and do some proper coaching, because Arne and his staff have just not had that opportunity.
There might be one or two. It needs some more fitness work as well. You know, some that have not been training. I know they've been away and maybe sitting on the bench, but some of them might need to get up to speed with a...
You've got that option now. You can do different things for different people, can't you?
Some of the lads, you can say, you know what, you need a break. You need just to go away. Don't think about football for a couple of days. Enjoy it.
Like sometimes,
yeah. And the others, you know what, we'll bring you in and we'll just do a little bit of fitness. Not saying they're going to run them every day, but just a little bit of fitness work. Just keep them ticking over. Keep their minds right for the upcoming
Can't do that
matches.
over Christmas. Come on, lads, come in for a run. That'd be harsh.
No, we should go on Christmas Day. We should come down and train Christmas Day.
Yeah, but I know, but how much, you didn't just do running. Surely there was ball work. It wasn't just running.
Ball work, yeah, but we used to do work as well. Yeah,
but not just running. You made it sound like get them in and run them into the ground. Come on.
I just said that. It's not about running them into the ground. It's just doing some work.
Have they ever played 7-a-side across the pitch, Ray?
Yeah, no. 8-a-side.
Many a true word said in jest.
When the squad turned up, was 8-a-side.
What was I going to say then? You've thrown me off my train of thought. I don't know what I was now. I was going to say. I genuinely forgot what I was going to say now. What were we talking about? The interesting thing was, you know, we looked at the league table at the top of the show. We're now into the top 6. We've overtaken. We sort of said it tongue-in-cheek above Man United, Everton. The thing within all this, teams like that have not had the same schedule. They've not been playing 2 games a week. They don't have European football. So as the season moves on and things thin out a little bit, you'll set a truer idea of where everyone is at. And we're still in a relatively good position when you take into consideration we basically had a month and a half where we kept losing.
Well, and exactly. And you're looking at it, nobody's made a clear break between us and that top 4. Even Arsenal, for goodness sake. You know, you're looking and they've been very good. It's just we've had that blip, and I'd like to think and hope it's a blip, and it was a long one. Is that it's all? And I think a load of us. You don't want to sound as though you knew it. This team was always going to be better in the second half of the season, because all those boys will be settling in and getting to know each other, and we'll find out who is going to be our main players going forward after the new year arrives. And I think we're seeing that, and we're going to get that. We're looking better, so it will do. But we've just got to concentrate on ourselves, not look at the league all the time and just keep on chucking away at the Premier League.
Liverpool's always been a one game at a time. That's where the clubs are. The ethos has always been about don't look too far ahead. Just think about next upcoming fixture, which is going to be Tottenham away. That'll be a tough enough game. Tottenham are a good football inside, a bit like Brighton. You know, they'll go out there, they'll try to pass through the thirds, they'll try and look for weaknesses. But if Liverpool show the sort of form that they have in the last few matches, 3 wins and 2 draws in the last 5, and you continue with that, that's what you're looking for. You're looking for consistency of performance now, game in, game out. And I think the players, you know, they all know that. So the new players know that. And that's why you've seen better from Kirkish. Wirtz has been better. We've all seen him. He's improved from where he came in at the start of the season to where he is now. For me, it's like night and day in many respects.
Wirtz has been fantastic. He really has. He's sort of one of those players you can see him really settling.